Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome to the meeting now. Um, we'll start off with the pictures then. Isaac, do you have any pictures to share of the week?
Yes, I do. These are just a second. I have a bit of trouble getting. Yeah, do the next person while I try to find them.
Okay. Daniel, do you have any pictures you would like to share?
I do. Since I'm going to hold up my picture. This is a picture of my Perplexus ball. I have many of these. What they are is it's a see-through ball that has all these tracks through it, and it has a little metal ball in it that you have to move through all the tracks. So it's kind of like a puzzle. And I think they're very neat. I have lots of them. 7 of them, yes. So that is my picture.
Okay. Fred, do you have any pictures you'd like to share?
Yes, I do. Some of you may have seen some of these. Let me just share my screen. These are of my grandchildren in Australia. These are photos of them in a museum where they go to the museum and pose with all the other pictures. It can be quite dramatic. That's my grandson, who's 12 years old, and my granddaughter, who's 15 years old, who will be 15 in a short time. So they went to the museum or this art museum and took these pictures, which are quite interesting. Elephants are one of my favorite animals, if you know so. And giraffes. Don't know if we had any lions here. I keep remembering Daniel likes lions. So anyway, those are some pictures of my grandchildren in Australia in a Melbourne art museum.
Okay.
That was so cool.
Isaac, do you have your pictures ready yet?
I couldn't find them.
Okay then. Jack, do you have any pictures you'd like to share?
I don't have any pictures.
Okay. Is Emma a moderator?
No.
Okay.
She's a participant.
Okay, well, Emma, do you have any pictures that you'd like to share?
I do actually. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
The screen share button is the green screen in the top left.
Thank you. Okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So last night, I pulled this together this morning because I was trying to think of a picture that I could share. And this was last night at Save on Foods Memorial Center here in Victoria. My mom and I went and saw Stars on Ice. And it was a performance with all the Canadian Olympic figure skaters that were in this year's Olympics in Pyeongchang and in past Olympics. And so there was Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer. There was Elvis Stoico, Patrick Chan, and a couple of other people that skated. So we went and saw that last night, and it was really, really good. So that's my picture.
Okay, Aiden, do you have any pictures you'd like to share now?
I do. If you can see this. You can see this, correct? Right? Can somebody confirm?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. This is a rather low resolution shot I took of a hummingbird at a feeder out in Mill Bay, I believe, on Vancouver Island. I was visiting at my grandparents for a few days because, unfortunately, one of them passed away, so we were visiting there. But this hummingbird, on a slightly different, a little bit lighter topic, this hummingbird was very brave, and I wasn't standing that far away, maybe only like a few feet, and it still very persistently came to this feeder. I got 7 or 8 shots of it, but this was the best.
Well, thank you then. I do not have any photos to share, so we will now go on to reviewing the roles. So I'll start. As Master of Ceremonies of the meeting, I will start and finish the meeting on time. I will follow the agenda and introduce the roles and speakers of the day. I will hand over the meeting to the head coach when it is time to evaluate the meeting. When the head coach is finished, I will close the meeting. Okay, Jackson as timer.
I don't think I will be able to do this role because I forgot the thing that will time people.
Okay. Fred, do you think you could do that possibly?
I'm just trying to unmute my microphone. Yes, I can do that. I'll read it out too, I think, if I can find it quickly. Oh, here we are. As timer, it's my duty to time impromptu speeches, prepared speeches, and speech evaluations during the meeting. For example, during impromptu speeches, the speaker has 1 minute. I will show a green card. I have a yellow and a red, and I'll find the green one. I think this is it. Well, there's a green piece of paper anyway. Hopefully you can see it's green. It sort of looks green. And I'll show that at 30 seconds. I'll show the yellow card at 45 seconds and the red card at 1 minute. And once the red card is displayed, the speaker should wrap up their talk within 30 seconds. If there are any prepared speeches or speech evaluations, I will time them as well. And when called upon during the meeting, I will report the qualifying times. Mr. Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you. And Aiden now is the Mystery Master.
Of course. As Mystery Master, I will show or tell the participants of the meeting about something that I think everyone will enjoy. I should keep it a secret what I will do.
Okay, thank you. And Daniel as the head coach.
Thank you. As head coach, I am in charge of the evaluation part of the meeting. The purpose of this is to provide helpful feedback about the meeting. To help me, I have a team made up of the grammar coach, the Wizard of Oz, and the timer.
Thank you. And Emma as the impromptu coach.
As impromptu coach, I will prepare some topics to ask during the impromptu speaking section. The purpose of this is to provide an opportunity to practice speaking on any given topic. This helps us think quickly in preparing a mini speech about a topic. It helps us learn how to express our ideas clearly.
Thank you. And Jackson as the jokester.
When called upon, I will tell a joke, which is a short, funny story to share with everyone. This is to add some fun to the meeting. Of course, the joke should be in good taste and not offend anyone.
Thank you. And Aiden is the grammar coach.
Of course. As grammar coach, it is my duty to listen to everything said during the meeting. I will note and report any good use of grammar and or any poor grammar. I will give a report on what I heard during the evaluations part of the meeting.
Thank you. And Daniel as the counter.
My job is to listen when others are talking, for when they say or and other words such as, you know, like, okay, well, and so. When I hear any of these I will count the number of times each person says them during the meeting. I will also count the number of times each person starts a sentence with "and." Then near the end of the meeting, I will report on who said these extra words and how many times each one said them.
Thank you. And Emma of the word of the day.
As word of the day presenter, it is my task to present the word of the day. If anyone uses the word of the day during the meeting, I will make note of it. I will give a word of the day report when called upon during the meeting.
Thank you. And Fred, could you please read off the quizzer for Isaac?
Certainly. Near the end of the meeting, Isaac will ask a few questions, and the questions will be about what was said during the meeting. This is to see how well we were listening to those who spoke during the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Now, well, Emma, will you please present the word of the day?
I have chosen the word "in depth" for the word of the day. It means to describe something thorough or in great detail. For example, in a sentence, she gave an in-depth speech about her school project.
Thank you. Aiden, would you please be so kind to show us what you have for your Mystery Master?
Of course. And as Mystery Master, I took that role very literally and found something that is as much a mystery to you as it is really a mystery to me. This bizarre Angry Birds pen of unknown origin. I don't know where I got it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know whose it is. I don't know how it came into my possession, but above all else, it is a mystery. Hence Mystery Master.
Thank you. And Jackson, as the jokester, please.
The first joke is, why do dogs run in circles? Because it's hard to run in squares. Why did the penny but not the quarter jump off the cliff? Because the quarter had more sense. How is a baseball team similar to a muffin? They both depend on the batter. Why did the scientist install a knocker on his door? To win the Nobel Prize. I don't have any more jokes to share.
Okay, thank you. And is there any prepared speeches that anybody would like to give right now? Daniel, yes.
I'll just be a second to set up. Okay. Hello. Today I'll be talking about Shakespeare's comedy A Midsummer Night's Dream, written in 1595. It is very popular and has been adapted to books, art, theater, and films. I will specifically be talking about the opera adaptation written by Benjamin Britten in 1960. The plot takes place in Greece around the wedding of a duke to a queen, and most of the scenes take place in the forest. There are 3 sets of characters: the actors, who are practicing a play for the wedding, the lovers, who are eloping and arguing, and the fairies, who are fighting over a changeling boy. The fairies influence most of the events and affect the humans. There are 2 groups in the fairy kingdom: Queen Titania, with her sweet little fairies, and King Oberon, with his mischievous sprite Puck. Oberon starts the events by giving Puck a magic flower with a love potion and sends him to drug Titania. He wants Titania to fall in love with someone else and forget about the child so Puck can steal him. My job in this play, when I was in the opera, was being Cobweb, guard to Queen Titania. I failed to protect the queen and get distracted and start chasing a little firefly. My distraction allows Puck to drug Titania and steal the child. Then he goes and spreads the love potion on all the humans as well. This creates chaos and everyone falls in love with everyone. He also turns one human into a donkey. Titania falls in love with this donkey. I had lots of fun memories about this opera. This was the first time I had performed in the Royal Theatre. The Royal Theatre has a big stage and has a huge audience that seats over 1,400 people. This opera had a great set design with flowing curtains, sparkling lights, and elevated platforms. Here is a picture. I also got to wear a cool costume and got to wear makeup and a microphone. I had a very flowy and cobwebby costume with draping cobwebs and got to wear wings and a hat. I also got to hold a flashing orb on stage. Here is a picture. I really enjoyed the operatic singing in this opera. I was part of the boys' choir that had 18 boys from ages 8 to 14. The music was very high and had complicated harmonies that made it sound very floaty. And it was in the language of Old English, which was sort of tricky to learn. Here is a picture of the boys' choir with all their costumes on. I got to meet lots of theater professionals. I got to meet lots of actors. Puck, which is the one standing next to me. Oberon, King of the Fairies. And Titania, Queen of the Fairies. I also got to meet the director, Tom Diamond, who is from Toronto. And got to meet the stage manager, Sarah Robb. And finally, the conductor, which we call Joey. I really enjoyed being in this play. The plot is funny, but is sometimes hard to follow. Britain's music to Shakespeare's comedy fits the opera very well. I really enjoyed playing my role as the fairy who messed everything up. And last of all, I will show you a video of me and the boys' choir singing. I'll hold this. ceremonies.
Thank you. That is very well done. And I guess, does anybody else have any more speeches they would like to present? No? Okay, then I'll ask Emma as the impromptu coach to ask her questions now.
Today I thought I would try something that I've done before. I was part of a Toastmasters group for about 3.5, 4 years, and that's how I met Fred. And I tried this a little while ago and it got a really good response, so I thought I would try it. It's sort of a would you rather, but they're really, really insightful and in-depth questions. So I'm hoping that if someone would like to participate, you can pick a number between 1 and 13, and then I'll give you a question and you can talk about your answer, what you choose, and why. Would anybody like to start?
I'll start.
Okay, would you like to pick a number between 1 and 13?
11.
Okay. Some of these are easy and some of these are hard, so they're very mixed up. So my question for you is cookies or ice cream?
Probably cookies. I'm not a big fan of ice cream, actually. I used to be allergic to dairy, which made it so I'm not a big fan of stuff that's creamy.
Do you have a favorite type of cookie?
Well, my mom makes really good oatmeal raisin cookies that have lots of good spices in them that are really good. So those are probably my favorite.
Very good. Anyone else?
Is the choosing a number necessary? Regardless, 6.
Would you rather have solar panels on your house or drive an electric car?
Solar panels. People don't seem to realize that electric cars actually take more resources to build than they save in action. Solar panels are also very expensive and take a lot of resources, but as far as I know, maybe I'm misinformed too, they produce more power than it takes to create them.
Very good. Anyone else?
I would try it. 4.
Would you rather have a very strict teacher and learn a lot, or have a really nice teacher and not learn much?
Really nice teacher. I don't exactly enjoy having people telling me what to do very strictly. But I already have one, so I learned quite a bit from her, though. So I think I'm in a good position right now.
So I'm noticing that this method of prompting answers is different from the other method in that each question is only asked to one person. So if everybody else has an answer to that question, only one person is asked. Is that intentional or an oversight or what?
In the past, I've always known how to do it this way. So that
right.
would be why. Would anyone else like to go?
I guess I will. 9.
I actually think this is a good one for Jack. Would you rather only be able to whisper or only be able to shout?
Only be able to shout.
Why?
Well, I think it'd be very inconvenient only being able to whisper. Like, what? How are you supposed to get someone's attention if they're like all the way over there? You're trying to whisper at them, and like, it'd be so bad. I think shouting would be better, even if you're trying to have like a calm sentence and you were just shouting.
If you can only whisper, then ideally everybody knows that if they know you well enough to want to listen to you. And if
Yeah.
they know you, they should know to pay better attention to you, which is obviously why only whispering is much better than only shouting. Because if you can only shout, people will get annoyed at you. But if you can only whisper, people will just pay attention to you more. See, sometimes people other than the person asked will have an answer to a question.
Fred, would you like to go?
Fred, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to get my cursor to move to unmute it. Yes, I'll go, only if Jackson goes after me, because he'll be the last one, then he'll let everyone. So be ready, Jackson. So I'll have number 1. You're muted, so
I think this is the perfect one for you. Would you rather take 1 week trip to a foreign country of your choice or take a 4-week trip around Canada?
That's a great question. I like long trips, so I take the 4-week trip, and Canada is an amazing country. I don't think I could cover what I'd like to do in 4 weeks. I once traveled for about 4 months, starting on Vancouver Island, going up north to the Inuvik on the Dempster Highway, popped into Alaska, which is in Canada, but on the way back, I ended up coming down south, going all the way across Canada, seeing every province, including St. John's, Newfoundland. It is an amazing country. We don't explore it enough. So I would definitely take a 4-week trip, if not longer, if I could get it, and see many of the highlights of Canada.
That's great. Thank you, Fred.
The thing is, my country of choice is Canada. So there is only one option.
Jackson?
14.
Sorry?
14.
Would you rather go to to Antarctica or the Mediterranean?
I would rather go to the Mediterranean because I've been there before and it's really fun.
Thank you. That concludes my impromptu speeches.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I will now hand it over to Daniel as the head coach.
Thank you. So, may we now have the grammar coach's report. I call upon Aiden for the grammar coach's report.
Thank you. For today's meeting, I actually noted that everyone spoke unusually well, which you could take as a compliment or an insult. But rather than having anything to note, either positive or negative, there isn't really anything to note. Everyone just spoke well. I don't have anything to say on that.
Thank you. And now I call upon, sorry, I have to look who's next. Yeah. Oh, that's me. I call upon myself for the counting. And since I was doing other stuff, I had to have my mom count all the ahs and ums. So I will look at her very good chart that she has made. So Fred said 1 Aiden said 2 ahs and started 1 sentence with and. Isaac didn't say anything and neither did Jackson. And then Dawson said 1 ah, 1 and one it was either well, so like those ones, and he started two sentences with and then I said twice, and Emma said twice, and said three times. So that is my report. So thank you to myself for doing report. And now I call upon Fred for the timer's report.
All right, Mr. Head Coach, your speech, which was 6 minutes and 44 seconds. The impromptu speech, Daniel, was 45 seconds. Aiden was 22 seconds. Dawson, 24 seconds. Isaac, 23 seconds. I didn't time myself, but I probably was over a minute. And Jackson was 15 seconds. So that's my timing report. Oh, I would suggest after you finish the others, we do an evaluation of your speech. We ask comments from everyone, and maybe impromptu speaking as well if there was any comments, but I just suggest that.
Thank you. So that is all for me, and I'm supposed to give just overall what I thought of the meeting so far. And I thought that Dawson did a very good job of not using too many extra words, considering he was talking a lot with the Master of Ceremonies. So now I will hand the meeting back to the head coach. Master of Ceremonies.
Okay, thank you. Now for the round table of kudos then.
I think we have a quizzer, if I may.
Isaac was the quizzer. I misread something. Isaac is the quizzer.
Yes. Okay, so I have a few questions, but I'm very sorry, teacher. They all revolve around you because no one else said anything else interesting, really. Except Dawson. Dawson, you were pretty interesting. Okay, no one said anything that I can make a question out of except for you. Okay, how many people did he say was in his boys' choir? Did he just say in his boys' choir?
18.
If I remember correctly, it was 16. Is that right, teacher? Hello, did my internet die again?
It was 18.
Ah, dang it. I thought I got 16. I must have done the wrong number. Okay, well. What was the other one? I had another one. What was it? Oh yeah, where did he say the play took place? Like, where did he say the play took place in?
The Royal Theatre?
Yeah.
He said Pacific. He said, yeah. There, that's my questions.
Okay, now for the round table of kudos, I guess then.
Well, I'll start it off because we didn't evaluate Daniel's speech, and I'd like to make some comments about that in particular. Daniel, I really enjoyed your speech. You showed us pictures, you showed us a video. In this way, it worked because it was on a screen. I don't know if it would have worked if you tried to share a screen and show it. So that worked.
How good was the quality?
It was okay. I was able to see the pictures. My screen
hear
that
the
I'm
singing?
looking at is relatively small, so I have to, you'd see me peering at it, but I could see everything that you showed, the pictures and so on. Also, the fact that you used cue cards and gave us a speech, and it was very interesting for me to see that you've been involved and your involvement and how you enjoyed it. The fact that you were the fairy that caused a little bit of chaos, which was sounded a lot of fun. So your enjoyment showed. It was a relatively long speech too, 6 minutes and 44 seconds. It's not excessively long, but that is a very good length. When we do Toastmasters speeches, we normally vary between 6 and 8 minutes. So it wasn't just quick. You had a lot of information you shared with us. So I
He's gone.
congratulate you. Yeah, he got so excited that his internet disconnected again. He'll probably be back. There he's coming.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I got booted out again. It's so annoying.
I know. But you got so excited, even the internet got excited about the feedback.
What was the song?
Started jumping.
What was the song performed by the boys recorded on?
Just a CD. It was at one of the performances.
Oh, a CD.
They
That's
just
why.
had a camera, and they gave it to us in a little package on a CD that
Well-
we just played on our TV.
It seems to me that recording a CD from a camera from a distance on a TV, on a camera, on Google Hangouts does not come out to very high quality.
Probably not, but yeah. It was probably also the lighting. It's kind of dark in here,
Maybe.
and it's not the brightest video.
I also would add other kudos. I really appreciate everybody taking the time. We are recording this, and I think everybody's done a wonderful job. So I just want to thank everyone. So that's my kudos. So anyone, you want to go around, Dawson, and ask each person if they have any kudos?
Sure. I'll start with myself, I guess. So I just wanted to say kudos to Emma for thinking of a brand new way of asking the impromptu questions, and it was very clever. I'll go to Isaac now then.
Yeah, I would also like to give kudos to Emma. I thought her questions and all that were really cool, and I would like to give kudos to the teacher person for his long lengthy speech, for his nice speech. I don't know. I forgot your name is in your profile things, teacher.
Okay.
Daniel.
Well, Daniel, you're up now, I guess then.
Yes, I wanted to give kudos to Jackson for keeping his voice up when it was his turn to speak. He did a good job of that, even though his microphone's not the best.
So Fred, do you have anything else, or should we just go to Jackson?
Yeah, go to Jackson.
Jackson then?
I liked Emma's questions. I thought they were very creative.
Okay, Emma.
First off, I want to give kudos to Fred for putting this together. I think this is really great, and it's a great way of being able to do something like this when, conflicting schedules and people don't necessarily all live here in Victoria. And I also want to give kudos to all of you, because I think that all of you did a really good job today, and I really enjoyed the speech. And yeah, it was just, you guys are a great group of people.
And last but not least, Aiden.
I'm just going to repeat what I said as the grammar coach. Everyone's spoken usually well. Usually I would have at least a few things to write down if somebody slipped up or used a word incorrectly, but maybe I'm just terrible at notating that, but I didn't hear anything. So good job to everyone.
Okay, so now we can go on to choosing roles and themes for next class.
Can I be the quizzer? And then I'm also fine with anything else.
I really don't care what I get put as.
Give me any role except for jokester, counter, or mystery master.
I would like to take the jokester for next class.
I would like the counter.
So thank you. I'll fill in the agenda.
Okay, so if that's all then, I guess the meeting will be adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Fred.
Bye.